Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Tuesday's edition of Shagalinku. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and it's good to be with you all here. We're streaming live on two destinations, or actually three. One from Shagalinku TV Facebook page, and the other is from Shagalinku TV YouTube page. And the third one is my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. So whichever one you join us from, it's fine. The comment section is just below. You could drop your comments as we go on. And today we're looking at what are some adolescent behaviors and the devastating effects that it has. A lot of times I've heard this phrase that kids will be kids, but then we know that we need to also, as adults, shaping and guide the lives of young people growing up, because as adults, we must have made our mistakes and learned from them. And it lies on us to lead and teach younger ones the path to go. Anyway, I have two guests here, and together they'll be talking to us about the issue that we have right now to discuss. Like I said, you can join in the conversation. Drop your comments in the comment section. If you have questions for my guests on teenage, adolescents, any issues pertaining that, they are experts in that field, and they will talk about it. Okay, so let me bring my guests on. I have, like they say, ladies first. I have Mrs. Esther Amlambo. She's a behavioral coach in Kaduna and also works with FAMI in Kaduna. She'll be telling us more about that. I also have Rotarian Martin Mary Falana, and he's the CEO of Kids and Teens Resource Center, Akure. He's been a guest on this show before, so some of you already would know him when he was here with Ajam Rebello, and it was really a controversial word when we talked about issues. Okay, welcome everyone. So let me start with Mrs. Esther. I'd like you to tell us a little more about yourself before we even go on to talk about our discussion. What should our viewers who are seeing you for the first time know about you? What do you do? What's your passion? What are you doing currently? And what do you want people in Shagalinku to know?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther Amlabu. I live in Kaduna. I am married, a mother of 3. The eldest is 20 and the youngest is 9. I work with FAMI. FAMI is Family Altar Agape Missions International. We're a faith-based NGO that deal basically on everything about family. And I'm also a behavioral coach to the teenagers, talk with every aspect of teenagers. What else do you need to know? I'm just
Anything you want to tell us?
I said everything. That's okay. I live in Kaduna, and I'm not afraid to stay in Kaduna.
You have power. Okay, let's come to Martin Mary. Welcome to the show. I know you're not a first timer here, but we always get new viewers, and people also watch the show after it's been aired. So who is Martin Mary, and what should they know about you?
My name is Martin Mary. I am the CEO of Kids and Teens Resource Center, development specialist, lover of children and young people, into anything that has to do with securing the future for them, and an activist to the core, anything that has to do with violence against children and women. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That has been said. So let me even start off this way. What should viewers know about the adolescent age or the teenage age? A lot of times when I talk with parents or in a gathering of guardians, they always are telling us of their challenges. Sometimes they say kids are unruly, they are rude, they are stubborn. And then others will tell you, maybe philosophers or psychologists will tell you that is the time of their life, you should just let them explore. But we know also from the faith-based angle that we can't just let these kids also just do what they like. There should be someone more mature to guide them in that part. So let me even start with Madam Esther. What is it about the adolescent and teenage age that is causing so much chaos and commotion in the world? We find even outside the country, you find people just wake up one morning, carry gun and be shooting. People are saying that this generation, they don't have the kind of respect that growing up other older ones had. Take us through that journey of adolescent and teenage age.
All right, a teenager is a young adult between the age of 13 and 19, the teen years. And it's been said that it's like a crazy year or confused year. The teenager don't even know what is happening to them because of the changes in their body. A lot of things happen to them. And at that stage, in their confused state, they also need guidance. And that is why the parents come in. Because most times, parents just leave them alone to grow on their own. And they grow on their own, they grow with their peers, they grow with what their peers say, they grow, and they can only think and reason according to their peers. But at that confused state, in that confused state where they are, the parents need a lot of understanding with the teenagers because they themselves don't understand what is going on in their body. And that is why the parents should get involved with the children at the early stage. You don't wait for them until when they are 13 and they start behaving. They want to copy what their friends are doing. They want to dress like their friends. They want to listen to the latest music. They want to just do anything at their own time in their own way. But the parents coming up at the early time will help this and guide and shape these children, help them to reason well, help them to think well, help them to behave well. Okay, this thing that is happening to me, I don't understand it, I don't know what it is, but with the guidance and the understanding of the parents, it is not about shouting, it's not about complaining, it's not about grumbling. It is also not about comparing your child, comparing your teenager. Teenagers definitely don't like comparing. You compare them, you don't say, see how your brother is doing, or see how your sister is doing, or your mates are not like that. They will tell you they are not their mates, they are just themselves. But the parents need to understand a child, like a boy that is a teenager, coming up with the changes in his voice, with the changes in his body structure, it seems not to understand what is happening. But with the proper guidance of the parents, sincere guidance, I always tell parents, please be sincere, especially with the mothers. Now, when you are guiding a child, the fathers should talk to the boys because the fathers have gone through what the boys went through, or the fathers have gone through what the boy is going through. So it's the father that should be able to coach the boy on what is happening to him. But unfortunately, fathers are they are very far away. A lot of fathers don't even come closer to their sons or to tell them what to do. And then the mothers too that tend to want to educate the child on what to do, they tell lies. They just camouflage things. You find out that a mother is telling the child, okay, the child starts menstruating, and then in that confused state, oh, you see blood flowing out of you, and then you go to your mother, or you don't know, then the mother tells you, no, don't go and sit near a boy. If you sit near a boy, you will get pregnant immediately. And then, or maybe unfortunately, what the girl sits near a boy, sleep or do anything with the child, she will not be able to stand it, or she will still be thinking, okay, nothing will happen because my mommy said if the boy touch me, or if I sit near the boy, I will get pregnant, and I've sat near a boy and nothing happened. So the day the actual thing will happen, the child in a confused state. So the parents need to start early. Please tell them the real truth, the facts about being a teenager.
Okay, that's a good one, and thank you about that. I was going to bring in Martins to also take us through his own side and what he thinks about that. But while we wait for Martins, I'd like you to also talk a little about the father role, because a lot of time, and I'm happy you are even bringing the issue now. We live in a world now where, yes, there are single mothers, there are single parents and all that. Even when husband and wives are at home, some mothers just feel that the need for the husband figure or the man figure in the life of the child is not necessary. I found times when fathers have complained that they hear their wives say, my pikin, my pikin. it robs the father of that responsibility as well. The woman feels, and let me carry him for 9 months, so it's my son or it's my child. So where is the role of the father in all of this? Because you also talk about the fathers being very far from their children. Ironically, they can even be at home with the children and not really pay attention. Yeah, so where is the role of the father before I look for Martins and see if he's back?
All right, I'm not trying to support the women here. The women also have their fault. But you know, it began with the father right from the beginning. The father, most times when you have a baby, how many fathers stay to nurse the child together? Of course, they'll say they are looking for money, they are going there. But even when you come back from work, do you take care of the child? Most times now, you find out that somebody have a baby, the woman is the one nursing the child in the night. Maybe the man will relocate to another room and leave I say, I know nobody should disturb my sleep. You just relocate to another room and leave the mother with the child in the night. She's the one nursing the child. She's the one taking, you just want to catch your sleep. You don't want anything to disturb your sleep. And then the child begins to grow. Then the child comes to you, maybe he just come to you, daddy, you say, no, go to your mother, go, don't leave me alone. I've have a stressful day, nobody should disturb me. Go to your mother. Then the child goes to the mother and gradually begin to bond with the mother. So the father is available, but is not involved in the aspect of that child. So as the child grows up, he becomes farther away from the father. Of course, the father is father and the mother is nearer. So the child tends to bond more with the mother, the mother tends to listen to maybe the child. You find out that most children get closer, they are closer to their mothers than their fathers. And as it goes on, when they now get to the adolescence, when they have the mind of their own, they just feel, I don't need daddy's opinion. I don't need anybody's opinion. I can do anything on my own. Because right from the beginning, the foundation have been faulty. The fathers are not involved in grooming the child. It is not everything that is about money. I tell them, not everything. And then fatherhood, like I said, I might post some months ago. I said fatherhood is not about donating sperm. It's not just giving, not just getting a woman pregnant. It has to do with a lot of sacrifices. There are a lot of things behind that being called a daddy, being called a father. There are lots of responsibilities attached to it. You know, for a boy, for example, a teenage boy needs to know the difference between, as he grows up, becoming adolescent, needs to know the difference between wet dreams and masturbation. I remember the last time in our teens group, I told them, I said, yes, I'm a woman, but because I have studied, and then because I've been in this for some time, I've been able to study and I looked at it. I told them the difference between masturbation and wet dreams. Yes, masturbation is wrong because that is you trying to play with your genitals until when the semen come out. And that is wrong before the science people and then before God. But the wet dreams is a way of the way God created the body of the boy or the man, yes, the adolescent, that because you are not allowed to go into any sexual whatever with any girl, God knows how he makes the discharge to happen in itself. So when you wake up in the morning and you see your body wet or you have that wet, you don't think maybe it's one demon that is pursuing your word. It's just the way of God making it to flow out. So you don't get, but a child that is not well taught or well groomed in that will get confused. He wakes up in the morning and sees his body wet. He will think maybe somebody has come to sleep with him in his dream.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll bring in Martin Mary here. You went off at some point. It's a good one that I have you here now. So yes, you've listened to some of the things that Esther has said. I'd like you to also, I don't know which angle you want to take it from now. I was going to also ask you the role of the male figure in the life of a child, you know, the role of a father in a child's life. But maybe you'd like to want to start from talking about the adolescence and teenage life before you go into that, because that was actually what I wanted you to also talk about after Esther said hers for you. So please just go on which one you want to start with.
All right. Well, adolescence, I will say this is a very dangerous stage of life for a human being because you are no longer children and yet you are not yet an adult. It is around between the age of, let me say, 10 to 19 that we can refer to as adolescence. And because this stage is also characterized by physical, sexual, emotional, mental, and social, and even religious developments, changes in a young person that is growing. And the signs are different from male to female. So it's a period that a child will grow, and secondary maturity physical features will begin to show in that life of a child. For a boy growing up, getting to that stage, you think you are now a big boy, and then you want to change your voice. You think I'm a small boy, and then you change your voice and you want to talk and let people know you're a big boy. You begin to carry weight so that you can be muscular. You want to carry generator, they say, let two of you go and carry. You say, no, I can carry it alone. You want to show that now I'm a big boy. I alone, I'm enough. I can carry generator. You know, they want to show that. And as a girl too, this is the period you begin to have, you know, the enlargement of the breast. You start menstruating. You start feeling people are watching you. You start your body even from your mother, your father. You are in the bedroom, your mother knocks and says, hey, wait, I'm still dating. You know, that's the stage of puberty, which is one of those things we see at the onset of adolescence. Now, by that period, young people face a number of challenges, one of which is masturbation. What are these challenges? One, unwanted pregnancy, sexual relationships, abortion. They commit abortion. Some are even contracting sexually transmitted infections. Some are going into gangsterism. Some are already involving themselves in substance and drug abuse. Some are giving out early into marriage. While, you know, some are just discovering their orientation. Who am I? Why do I have love for the same sex of mine? Why do I have sex for opposite sex? Is it when somebody says L-O-V-E, love, that I get like, oh, are you serious? Do you mean it? And then a number of issues around that adolescent stage. You are either having low self-esteem about yourself, or you are too proud of your circumstances. So the issue of masturbation, wet dreams, all these things, they also come in the setting naturally. They are natural things, just like Esther said. Very, very natural for any human being to have them. And then the only thing I may say about what Esther said is saying that the condemnation against masturbation, I think it's individual differences. I won't teach you to go and be doing masturbation, but if you think that works for you, there are people who are alive today because of masturbation that they would have been part of the data of HIV if they wanted to do anytime they wish to do anything, anytime they are high, they want to go into something. No. There are some who prefers masturbating to going and doing what we call extramarital affairs. So it depends on the individual, and I wish that we could use this platform to respect people's opinion, respect people's what can I call it, identity, sexual orientation, and not be judgmental against anybody in whatever he or she is practicing. Do yours and use your energy on some other people on what they feel is good for them. What is important is safe, to be safe.
Yeah. Okay, in case you just joined us, this is a Tuesday's edition of the program, and we're looking at what are some of the adolescent behaviors and the devastating effects that it has on them and even the society. Because when we don't groom, if we don't groom them and show them the right way, they obviously will come back and do a whole lot of things that might not be pleasing So drop your comments. We'll be reading them. If you don't want to drop them on the comment section, you can send it as a text or a WhatsApp on +234-8054383460. The number is scrolling on the screen, and you can drop it there, and then we'll read them. Okay, I got some here, and I'll quickly just read them, and then ask two of you to respond. This other one, it's coming from, let's see, this one here is coming from Benjamin. It says, "Good afternoon. I'm watching live from Taraba. I'd like to ask your guest what they think about teenage pregnancy. Why is it on the rise, and how can we curb it?" I'll take one more, and then two of you can respond to all of them at once. This one is from Accra, Ghana. It says, "My name is Betty, and I'm watching live from Ghana. I'd like to congratulate your guests for just hitting the nail on the head. I'd also like them to explain more when they talk about the father figure, because these days, due to women liberation, a lot of women say they don't need men in their lives. What example will they be setting in the lives of the children? And how can even the fathers play their role when the mothers will never allow the fathers visit their children?" So, who will go first? Esther, you could go first and respond to either of the two comments, or respond to one of them, and then Martins will come in too. Please go on, Ma.
All right, I've spoken about the father's involvement. Now, yes, it's true. In this day of women liberation, they feel they don't need a man. But you know, that's just deception. That's not true. There's the role of a man in the life of the child cannot be overemphasized. The man figure, there is something that the man in the house can do and enforce that even the woman tries, she may not be able to do. You understand? So the man is equally important. Of course, yes, there are men, permit me, that can say, okay, like I said, they are not involved. They are available but not involved. And then, or some men have taken the way of being irresponsible by not catering for the house, and so they don't seem to have any value or add any value to their home. So the child will not even, don't have even maybe any respect for that father in the house. But the role of a father, a man, there is that enforcement, there is that firmness in the house that a man can command that the woman may not be able to. You know, the woman definitely have that soft spot that the child can get away with, but may not be able to get away with that firmness of the father, if the father truly takes the role. And then the issue of teenage pregnancy, that is why I said the parents should get involved right from the beginning. Because if you don't get involved and you are not assuring your child, yes, of course, there are a lot of evils in the land now. There are a lot of rape, a lot of things, but playing the part as parents still can help curb these things, this menace in the land, can help reduce the thing in the land. You know, like the child that lives in the house, maybe the house is so chaotic, the father and mother are always quarreling or always fighting, and the child just takes succor in the hands of his or her friends outside. Just go, once the parents, the house is hot, the child just go out and go and look for them. The people outside can easily deceive the child. Maybe a child that has never, I've had issues of teenagers that have never had from their parents, "I love you." There is no love in the house. And as a result of that, the child will find love outside. Maybe the fellow teenager or somebody just say, "I love you, you are good, you are that." And he has never had that word or those words at home. The child can get carried away, and because of all those words or maybe those little gifts that can come, the child can be lured into premarital sex, or unwanted pregnancy can result out of that. I think Uncle Martins will add more to that.
Yes. So I'd like you to also talk about the two comments that we got, Martins. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please go on and make your comments.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So now I'll take it from a father's role before going to teenage pregnancy. Well, I don't want to bring in game blaming into a father's role or a mother's role. As a father, I also have children, and I think my wife and those around me can testify to the fact that hardly would a child know the difference between the father and the mother, including going to the kitchen to cook, including finding time to play with the children, training them, and even what I know about reproductive health that my wife never knew about. I was the one who took the responsibility of training my young girls at age 7 and 5 about human anatomy because of my own field of specialization. So it's high time men took up the responsibility to be more committed in the home. Because as a father and mother, when people are thinking this one is father's role, the mother is closer by nature, no way. Everyone should participate. If we go in that line, we are already going into gender issues. And the gender roles is best described in a way that I love. They said it is societally ascribed responsibilities. What do they mean by societally ascribed responsibilities? It means the roles that we are talking about, apart from breastfeeding, apart from impregnating, apart from carrying pregnancy and delivery, every other thing should be shared by both the father and the mother. It is our responsibility. We bring forth these children to the world, and we should be able to participate in their holistic development. So we should not see taking a child to school, bathing for the child to go to school, or preparing the child, anything in that respect as that's the girl's role, that's the woman's role. It's the wife's role to do this. No. Even if she's doing that by her own normal, she has the time, then you should be able to be in the kitchen to do the backup work there over there in the kitchen. I go as I am. I go to market to buy what we need at home. I cook. I put on my apron. I cook. And my children prefer what I cook even to what my wife dishes. So it's individual differences. And when I go to kitchen, I call on my boy because it doesn't have to end at me. This generation should change, and the change we are looking for begins with us. I take my son, little son, along. See me. In your presence, I'm calling your mom to find out what she would like to eat. If I get home before my wife, I go to the kitchen and make food. I prepare in putting her into consideration what she would like to eat. I don't cross my leg and be doing daddy in the parlor, watching him, and then keep hungry, waiting until my wife comes back from where? No. And if she gets home before me, she has that right to ask me what will I care for, so that she doesn't make rice that I've eaten in the afternoon somewhere again for me as dinner. So we need that cooperation and understanding between ourselves. Now, for those who decide to live alone, they have their rights, it's their choice. Like you want to be father alone or you want to be mother alone, it's your choice, it's your right. But you should be ready to face the responsibilities that are expected within that circle. Now, let me go into teenage pregnancy. How can I define this? A teenager is someone that is still a child, a teen. By definition, a child is anybody from 0 to 18 years. So they are all teenagers. Why will the world be expecting a teenager, a child, to carry another child? A child giving birth to a child, it's accompanied with a number of complications and consequences. That's why I am not in support of any law anywhere in the world where they allow child and early marriages. It's not the best for any child's growth. Some of the effects of children, giving birth to children: one, VVF, vaginal vesicle fistula, sexually transmitted infections. We have even some young people committing abortion, and in the course of committing abortion, they die. Many are dying, and you know the stigma that is attached to a girl that is supposed to be in school that is carrying pregnancy. Can you imagine this? Can never be overemphasized. Guilt. You are in uni, you are bringing in birth certificates when your mates are in school, getting masters. You know, it's having its both social and physical consequences on these children. And by the time this happens, maybe the perpetrator of that evil will continue to advance his studies, while the girl will be there, economically affected, socially affected, physically affected, mentally affected. And that was why I say the situation should also not be the end of life for those who are victims of such circumstances. Society should have a program that will engage such crop of young people who have teenage pregnancy. There should be a support system that can reintegrate them into the society, that can meet their physiological, psychological, and physical needs. Because I don't know what he or she will be using to fend for the child that they are bringing forth to the world. It's not easy. So some of them are some of people that we have become in contact with. We're helping them economically. We're also sending some back to school, while if they have, let me call it extended families that the child can grow with, while she goes back to school to continue her education.
So, okay. I'll be also asking you to tell us a little more about the work you do in your organization. So I will start with Esther. Tell us more what farming means, what you do there. I know I've seen a couple of pictures of how you empower widows, how you empower women, and then sometimes you also bring teenagers together and talk about issues. And what are some of the challenges that you have, and how it could be sorted out and all that. So let's start with Esther.
All right, FAMI is a Family Altar Agape Mission International. Like I said, it's a faith-based NGO. We deal with every aspect of the family. Everyone in the family is covered under FAMI. We have the programs for couples, we have programs for men, we have programs for women, we have programs for widows, we have programs for children, and we have programs for youths and teenagers. And like you said, we empower widows. We have widows that we empower we have a lot of programs for them. We meet with them every Friday, every Friday of every week. We meet with the widows to know how they are faring, to encourage them, and then to share. We use the word of God because we are faith-based, to share the word of God with them, encourage them, especially in times like this. And then we have the scholarship scheme where we able to pay the fees, school fees of, we have some students under, some of them have graduated, some are still there under us that we able to pay their fee. We also carry out what we call the health and nutrition on these women, to check their blood pressure, to check their sugar level. We're planning to do a COVID test, but the process, they gave us a long process, so we were still working on that. Our main challenges, we have challenges, so many, but basically challenges are always on finance, because presently we have like about 500 widows under our care. And to take, everybody knows that in Nigeria now, to care for about 500 widows with all their needs every week is not funny at all. But we have faithful partners that have been helping us, and we'll also be glad to have more partners that want to help us, to assist us in what we're doing. We have had cases of bringing up youth, encourage them. Yes, they have dropped out, but they went back to school, and look at way to empower them and at least let them stand back on their feet. Let me use this opportunity, maybe I should say it here. We're talking about fathers involved. Maybe that would be my last talk, I don't know. But I want to beg, especially religious leaders, pastors, imams, and all those things. the fathers hardly have time for their children at home. You know, you can't be pastoring the flock of God, pastoring and then looking out for others, and then your home is suffering. Your children are suffering at home. You can't be pointing others to God and your children don't know the God. That is not the right thing. Please, fathers, I beg the fathers again, be available and be involved in the matters of your children, especially the adolescents at home. I remember giving my teenagers some assignments that they should go and bond with their fathers, and some of them were actually reluctantly rejected it and said no, I should just forget about it. If I say they should go and talk to their mom, yes, they do. But talking to their fathers, I know what would they say about, what would they talk about, what would they say? But I just encourage them and keep encouraging them. There's what we do yearly in our teens meeting, what we call the parent-teenagers bond. We meet, bring the teenagers and their parents together, and they use that opportunity to bond, to talk together and discuss together. So please let us get involved with these children. It is not just about chasing. Yes, we need to look for money, but let us create time for them. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So, Martins, let's come to you. What do you do in Kids and Teens Resource Center? I know you do a whole lot. I see some of the amazing pictures of the beautiful works you do. And what are some of the challenges you've had doing what you do? And how do you think you can do better in 2021?
Non-religious, non-governmental organization that is registered with Corporate Affairs in Nigeria and has also gotten the ECOSOC status. The future for young people. And we do this through equipping young people with knowledge and skills appropriate for self-actualization and development. When young people are empowered, they can eventually contribute towards the sustainable development of their communities. And a number of thematic areas. We do activities around environment, we do activities around health, education, economic empowerment, ICT, entrepreneurship for children, we promote volunteerism, then we deal with drug abuse and substance abuse among young people. And one thing that is cross-cutting across all our intervention is gender and governance. In health, we need good governance. In education, we need governance. In the environment, we need governance. And so we collaborate with development partners to meeting all these things among especially young people. More especially, we also take care of orphans and vulnerable children, those who have lost either parents, either the father or mother, or they have lost both, or they have both and are living as if they have none. These are people we also have so much passion for. And we've been getting the support of individuals and international agencies to meeting the unmet needs of these young people. When I say international organizations, we work with Ford Foundation, USAID, DFID, and PACS. You know, there are so many international organizations that over the years we've been able to partner with and work with to meeting the needs of these young people. And when there are no funds, we have also been relying on individual philanthropists who give us 10 naira per day. We have what we call a 10 naira per day card. Those who give us 10 naira per day to meet the need of these young people as they grow. And this has been keeping the organization growing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I ask you guys to tell us your last word of advice and way forward, just to acknowledge some of the people who are also watching and just sharing our videos. This is from Osman YBD2. It's from Accra, Ghana. Thank you. It's good to know that you're watching us. Another one is Brother Pace from Katsina. Thank you. Matthias Idris from Kano. Thank you for watching the video. And then I have Mborubu First Son. I hope I got that name right. Thank you. And I also saw another one where Nina Richie, yes, Nina Richie, all the way from the United States of America, just liked our video now to also show that she's watching. Thank you very much. And lastly, to Momayes Mohammed in Kano, thank you very much for also watching, and everyone who's watching. And remember that the videos will still be here even after the show. Some of our viewers who are across the globe, who are like 6-8 hours different, they sometimes come back to watch the videos and drop their comments. So the videos will still be here on YouTube and on Facebook for everyone to watch. Keep your comments. That also helps us to bring back our guests when there are questions or comments or gray areas you need us to clarify. So let me start with Madam Esther as we wrap up now. What's your final word? I know we really don't have time now, but we might just come back a second time and still dwell on some things that we need to talk about for upraising or upbringing of the children. But in wrapping up now, what's the way forward, and what would you advise everyone when it comes to teenagers, adolescents, and all that?
I still come back to the parents. I still come back to the parents. That the parents be available and be involved. Always have a listening, a yes face. Have a yes face, a listening ear. Because once the child come and he said, "Mommy, I want to talk to you." I remember my son. If he said, once he say, "Mommy," and I say, "What?" He say, "Forget." Because my face says no. He will just forget. But once I said, he said, "Mommy," I said, "Yes, what?" He will just say, "Forget, forget."
You say
So
forget.
let us not always having that attitude. Then I have to tune him again and whine him and whine him. Okay, okay, I'm calm now. So what is it? So because once we always have that, no, they are not available, they will go elsewhere and go and get advice, and the advice may not be good for us. So let us be available.
Okay, Martins, what would be your last word of advice or moving forward?
Yeah, I think there is this over protection that we have from our parents, and not allowing these young ones also to like form a life of their own. I want you to be a medical doctor. I want you to be this. I want you to be that. A child that wants to be a musician is deprived because of this overprotection. When a child is supposed to have learned about relationship, is still being mommy's pet, daddy's pet. And when eventually she wants to get into a relationship, she's falling from one hand to the other with fake messages, things that she would have learned over the time, that can make him or her strong in dealing with relationship. A lot of young people need to learn skills such as valuing themselves, having self-esteem, good communication skills, refusal skills, negotiation skills, assertiveness. They need all these things. Even if they are like cats, they should see themselves before the mirror like a lion.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can overcome peer pressure and resist some negative influences from their peers as they grow. And they need the cooperation of parents. Parents need to understand how to chop knuckles with their children, how to say what's up to the children, and not the way we were brought up of, hey, stand up, sit down, hey, go there, don't go there. No, because you need the parents, your best friend, who can guide you when there are issues with you. If somebody should say, "Hi, how are you? You're looking beautiful. Oh, thank you." Then get home. Mommy, can you imagine when I was coming from school today, somebody said, "Hey, hello, how are you?" That he loves me. We need that cordial relationship, not, "Mommy, I want to tell you something." And mommy's face is like, "What?" We need that cordial relationship between the parents and these children as they grow. Thank you very much.
Yes, I really must ask this before we go, because both of you just said it, and I think it might be important for our viewers to also get clarities on it. Let me start with Esther again. The angle where you talk about the bonding for the children and the parents is very, very important, and I'm so happy both of you said that. So how do parents even begin to learn this? Because we also forget the situation of the country. I'm not making excuses for them, but we also live in a world where parents also need help. So how do we begin to also groom parents to know that their problems should be secondary? their children's welfare should be in front. No matter what they are going through, they should make sure that the children's welfare comes first. They should be available all the time. And I like what Esther said too about there are times if the child says mommy and then she says what, you know, a lot of parents are guilty of that. You know, they are coming back from work, they are stressed out, the economy is bad, landlord is chasing them away, one school fees is there bugging them and the rest, and then you just want to go home as a parent and just bury your head and rest, and then one child is running in and telling you, mommy this, or they want to play. So finally, I'd like you guys to address it. Let me start with Esther. How do parents begin to build that psychology to know that no matter what they are going through at that moment, they have to keep their sanity for the sake of their children?
And number one, I want to say that no matter how far away we are from the children now, maybe the parent is looking at us and say, that my child, I'm far away, he doesn't even listen to me. There is always a coming back. There is always a time to bond. And then we need to tell ourselves that problem no they finish. Problem no they finish. There are challenges, you are overcoming one, another one is coming. So instead of now putting the our family first, then let those problems, the problem will definitely get solved. They will come and pass. But it is when we put it on our head that we will not be able to see the need of remember the birthdays of maybe their children. You remember the days they are born, remember their birthday. Maybe buy even if it's a small biscuit, buy and give the child happy birthday. The child, I'm sure, will be surprised. Oh, this is the first time. Looks like one magic, but it will do a lot of magic by bringing that child closer to you. So start by that. First, put those problems aside. They will be solved. But let the problem not be at the forefront at the expense of the family.
Yeah, Martins, finally, what's your own take?
Yeah, uncared for children of today are the ones giving us unrest today in future. And if we all as parents can see this as a reason for putting more effort to ensuring that we care for today's young people, they will give us rest in future. I will not be repeating what Madam Esther has just said because she has already captured everything that I wanted to say. However, I will want to say that what you don't have, you can't give. We should use platforms where parents gather to build their capacities in parenting. Not all parents have these skills. Not all parents at all. It's the skill of telling a girl that is menstruating that if you allow any boy to touch you, you get pregnant. Touch. Is that telling the child the truth? No. We need to empower and build the capacity of parents, even if it is through church programs that they gather, that we can target them through religious institutions, through schools, through PTAs. Parents need to be groomed. They need to be trained on effective parenting because what you don't have, you cannot give. Thank you very much.
Yes, I think you just hit the nail on the head there. We might just bring you two again to talk about good parenting because that's something a lot of people are really not doing. So sometimes we blame the children, you know, unnecessarily when actually the fault is from the parents, you know, from the home front. Like they say, charity begins at home. Finally, I will ask each of you to, if there are people you want to greet on the show, we always ask, we give 30 seconds to our guests to greet whoever they want to, people who have been supporting them, organizations who have always stood by them. I know in the course of the program, you guys have also talked about organizations that you work with and for and all that. So finally, who would you be sending your greetings to? Let me start with Martins and then we'll come to Esther to wrap up.
Wow. Are you sure I'm not making a blunder of my life by omitting some organizations? Okay, let me just
Your own.
Thank you. All the development partners, to all the international organizations that are supporting us and those that want to support us, because there are some that have penciled our organization down that they want to support. So those two, I'm thanking them in advance. And I want to especially thank those who are, volunteering for us in our organization, because we can't pay for their time. Volunteers are not just there to fill up the gap in the office. They are contributing towards the holistic development of the organization. And we don't have the resources to pay for their time, for their talents, for their skills. So I'm really saying a very big thank you to them. The members of staff, thank you. Lovers of kids and teens worldwide, thank you so much for being there for us. I appreciate it.
Okay, Esther, your final words to anyone you want. 30 seconds.
Thank you. Let me say shout out all the teenagers, past, present, and the future, the ones that have passed through us. Greetings to all of you, and I know you are doing well, and you will continue to do well. I want to thank the partners of FAMI within and outside the shores of the country. We say that God will continue to bless you, and please don't get tired of us. We are always coming and coming. Please don't be tired. And thank you for those that send us drugs for our widows to take care of their blood pressure and their sugar levels. We want to say God will bless you, and thank you for being good to FAMI. Thank you to the executive team, the team that work tirelessly with FAMI, and then like Martin said, we also have volunteers. We want to say your labor of love will not go unrewarded. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. I don't know. Network has hindered a lot of messages, but the messages are coming now. So let me quickly read some of them before you people go. This one is from Folashade Bamigoye. It says, greetings from here. And then I got this other one here, Tiwalade. Okay, I think the message is still hanging there, but yes, Tiwalade, thank you so much. That's just the situation here sometimes. After the program, you find 50, 20 messages just falling in, and that's why we say just keep them coming, because it helps us to also bring our guests back and also talk about issues. So yes, keep your messages coming, and like I said, we will find time to talk about good parenting and see how it goes from there. I really want to thank all my guests for being wonderful today, and I know they are very busy people. They are supposed to also be somewhere, but then we had to bring them here today. Martins particularly is on transit, but then this happened. So thank you so much, Martins, and thank you, Esther, as well, for the emergency call. You're a sister indeed. Anyway, thanks to everyone who joined us too. To Rosemary and others who also liked. The video is here. Share to your friends and loved ones. We'll be bringing our guests back again to talk about good parenting. We need to really do that, because I saw a post on Facebook some days back, and a teacher was lamenting online and said parents will spoil their children at home and expect the teachers in school to do magic with the children they had already spoiled. That really got me worried, because I know a lot of parents are trying. Most children got to start smoking cigarettes the first time in schools. So yes, I'm not exonerating or giving excuses for parents, but then everyone should do their role. When kids are in school, the teachers, the school has that responsibility to take care of the children. And when children are at home, the parents have their own. So everyone should do their role, so that we don't start doing blame games or crisscrossing. Anyway, that's for another day. And thank you all so much for joining. Till I see you all on Saturday with a fresh topic. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. I've been talking with my two guests, and we're looking at what are some of the adolescent behaviors and the devastating effects. My guests were Rotarian Martin Mary Falana. Is the CEO of Kids and Teens Resource Center, Akure, and also to Mrs. Esther Amlambo, a behavioral coach in Kaduna, and does a whole lot of empowerment for youth, women, and widows. Thank you too for being there for us. And from Shagalinko, I say God bless you all. Okay, we need to go now before network yanks us off. And for those of you trying to reach us, that network also didn't let you, not to worry. Catch up on the videos, drop your comments there. We'll pass it on to our guests. God bless you all and have a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Take care of yourselves and bye-bye.